absolutely amazing. Good day, everyone. Good day, and welcome to the very first Jubirev, Max opportunity presentation. My name is T. Lamont Silver Sr. Everyone calls me T. Lamont. We've been in the home business industry 19 years, built 4 seven-figure businesses. The last 2 years, we focused primarily in the revenue sharing space, and so it gives us great delight to be able to share with you the company that we believe will set the standard in the revenue sharing space. If you would do me a favor, open up your questions box and tell us who you are, tell us what part of the world you are from, what we've got posted there for those of you that have teammates that you want to get on this webinar. You can have them to go to join, actually you can have them to go to, let's put this makes it even simpler. You can have them going to www.jubirevwebinar.com, jubirevwebinar.com, and that should bring them right here. If someone out there that normally follows us on your end, if you would tell me what your U.S.-based call-in number is, I'd like to post that, and we'll get started here in just a few moments. Make a few introductions and get started in just a few moments. Someone post that for me, if you would. What you see as, if you're in the U.S., as your U.S.-based call-in number, what I'll have on my end will be different than what you guys have on your end. Okay, waiting. Ton of folks coming aboard. Wow. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. Give me just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Give me just a moment. All right, so if you are in the U.S., we can fit 1,000 folks at in front of the computer in the event that we tap out, because the numbers are coming on very, very strong. You can text this to your teammates, so at least they can hear, though they may not be able to see. They can at least hear. Give us just a moment. This has been a whirlwind of a day. Fantastic. All right, and we're going to put the access code. We'll do a couple, we'll do some introductions real quickly, and then we will go on and get things started, and be mindful that many of you are joining us maybe during a break from lunch or your other parts of the world or what have you, so bear with us. 636-762-819. Okay, all right, let's do a few introductions and then we'll get started. Let's welcome to the webinar. Good day, Cheryl. Good to have you. Jonathan from Maine. Good to have you. Cheryl's from Kansas City. Sandra from Alberta, Canada. Good to have you. Robert from Virginia. Fantastic. Bev from Florida. Liz from Louisiana. Keith, good to have you. We'll answer your question, my friend, as we go through the presentation. Shannon from Charlotte, North Carolina, my old stomping grounds. Hello, Debbie from the U.S. and Venetia from Florida. Bev from South Africa. What time of the day is it over there in South Africa? Dan from Colorado Springs. Elaine, and you still have never missed a webinar. Andy, good to have you from Louisiana. Boy, I don't want to mess your name up. Someone from India starting with a Y, please forgive me. I don't want to mess your name up. Johnny, good to have you from Seattle, Washington. Tim, good to have you, I believe, from Charlotte, North Carolina. Julio from Atlanta by way of the Dominican, or from the Dominican by way of Atlanta, however you would say that. Good to have you. Troy from Indiana. Terrence from, not sure where you're from, Terrence. Tim, actually from Taylor, Texas. Good to have you, my friend. Keith from South Carolina. My friends, I don't have have time, unfortunately, to get through all of the names. We will try to acknowledge some of you as we go throughout the presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jubirev and Jubimax. Jubirev, Jubimax. Jubirev is the company's marketing portal. This is where we promoters will reside. The company will not refer to us as representatives or distributors or affiliates. They'll refer to us as promoters. Jubimax is our customer portal. This is where we're going to drive millions upon millions of excited, exuberant customers. And I'll be honest with you, when we were first approached to do some field consulting and and promote Jubirev, Jubimax, I thought, Juby. What kind of name is Jubirev, Jubimax? What's in the name? Well, when management said, hey, Juby is short for jubilant, and I looked that up, and I saw that jubilant could mean triumphant. It could mean overjoyed. It could mean absolutely thrilled, exuberant, ecstatic. Well, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. From a customer perspective, don't we want our customers to be thrilled with our products and services, excited, exuberant about our products and services? From a field perspective, our promoters, don't we want our promoters to be triumphant and finally have a model where even the dude and dudette that are not good at recruiting and sponsoring and selling, they can win? So question, have you seen the power, many of you have, of the revenue sharing model? Well, ladies and gentlemen, average, everyday people, because of this revenue sharing model, are earning life-changing incomes in record times. The question, though, is, are you ready? Now, Jubirev, as we've already discussed, is the marketing arm of Jubimax. Jubirev, we're going to lead the revenue sharing revolution. We will become the standard in the revenue sharing space. We're not just a company, ladies and gentlemen. We are a movement. Jubimax is our customer portal. Well, we're going to assist customers, which will also be promoters, because we'll be products of the product, to look good, feel good, and live good. Our vision is to spark a global economic movement and lead the revenue sharing revolution while empowering people around the globe to look good and feel good and live good. Now, the crux of our compensation plan, the company is going to pay us 10 dynamic ways, but our Jubirev marketing plan allows all of our promoters, I want you to hear me, whether a person is good at recruiting or sponsoring or no, so it even allows Joe Average, who may never recruit another promoter. It even allows Sue Average, who may never recruit another promoter, will allow us all to override the production of the entire company, as the company is going to share revenues up to 50%, sometimes even more, of its daily revenues with all of our qualified promoters. Now, I will say this. We've just started today. We've just started our pre-registration period. Nobody's being asked to whip out a credit card or to make a purchase of any kind. So obviously, there are no commissions. There's no daily revenue just yet. So we're going to go from a pre-registration period, which could take a few weeks, waiting, basically just waiting for the manufacturer to have products ready to ship out to our customers. Then there'll be a pre-launch period. That's where products will be able to go out to customers. We will be able to purchase inventory from the company, and commissions will be paid. And then after that pre-launch period, we will have our soft launch, when the daily revenue will start to be paid. Again, if you're not good at recruiting or sponsoring or selling, that's quite all right. This compensation plan is made for you. Now, here's the thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the income opportunity today. There's 10 dynamic ways the company pays. I won't have time to cover all 10. As a matter of fact, for those of you who've already pre-registered, I want you to be looking next week for a number of videos where we're going to actually highlight the 10 ways. You may not get all 10 videos next week, but you'll start to learn how you get paid in this area, and that area, and this area, and that area, for those of you that want to see where every penny is going to go. Now, we need to understand this. The income opportunity is only as good as the product offering. So let's first start talking about the product. Now, here's been the challenge that we've seen in the revenue sharing space. The revenue sharing space attracts a lot of promoters, a lot of affiliates that make a lot of purchases that create a tremendous amount of revenue for the companies. However, what we haven't seen that we're going to see with Jubirev, Jubimax, is a company that has a major product focus so that the consumer has a quality product in hand, and that revenues are not just coming from promoters making purchases, but more so in time from consumers exuberant, excited, that are jubied about their products. Let's talk about the products and services. All right. One of our major components is going to be skincare. And I'm going to be honest with you again, I'm a dude. So when I first heard skincare, I'm thinking, skincare? But when I started doing my research and I looked at the top 10 companies in the direct selling industry, and out of the top 10 companies, we're talking the Avons of the world, we're talking the Amways of the world, we're talking the Naturas of the world, the Mary Kays, the Herbalives. 6 of the top 10 companies that generate revenue, when I say top 10 companies, I'm talking about in terms of gross sales, 6 out of those top 10 companies have a skincare line. Does Amway have a skincare line? Avon? What about Mary Kay? What about New Skin? All right, so skincare. Then weight loss. Now, there are some companies that have built their entire model in this industry on just weight loss. Now, that's good and bad. People want to lose weight. All right, the bad part about that is if someone is taking a weight loss product and they lose the weight and they get down to their desired weight, what happens? They come off of auto ship. Or if someone takes a weight loss product and maybe they don't stay on the regimen and they don't lose the weight, they come off of auto ship. So while weight loss is a major component, as a matter of fact, the 4 major categories that we will have are the 4 hottest selling items or categories on the internet. Weight loss by itself, I don't know about that. But when you combine that with skincare, wait a minute, you've got something. We're going to have our Jubi trainer. Our Jubi trainer is going to be not only for people wanting to lose weight, but wanting to get more fit. There will be thousands of exercises that you'll be able to do right there from the privacy of your own home. Maybe your knee hurts, so maybe you need an exercise that's going to be light on the knees or what have you. Remember, we want everyone to do what? Look good. We want them to do what? Feel good and live good. What about energy? Now, those of you that have followed us for any length of time, you've been hearing me talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 3 evenings, I have not seen my bed. We've been working with the programming team. We've been working with management. We've been working with support. On Tuesday, Monday night, we did not go to bed at all. We went to bed at 10 in the morning on Tuesday morning from Monday night. 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we had? We had an energy product. Never felt jittery, but boy, it gave us just a nice constant flow work all through the night. Same thing Tuesday night. Didn't see the bed, but we took that energy product. Nice constant, no jitters, no crash, nice constant flow. Last night, many of you that follow us, you know, we were up 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, waiting for our programmers to say, hey, the links are live. We've got an hour and a half of sleep. And that wasn't last night. That was this morning. And do I sound like I'm drained? Or does it sound like I can go all day? I know the energy product works. And then vitality. So we're talking about the 4 major categories. By the way, if you take a look at that picture, that's to give you an idea of what we mean by vitality. This is a family show, so we'll keep it rated G here. But making sure that he feels virile and strong like a man, and she feels virile and strong like a female. We may not get a lot of testimonies on that vitality product. People may not come on a webinar or want to have their picture plastered on YouTube saying, hey, I took this vitality product and I feel more like a man. But believe me, that product will fly off the shelf. Other ancillary services, our Jubi rebates. You're going to see that. You may see this in the next couple of weeks ready to go. Our shopping portal is already being designed right now as we speak, where folks will be able to go in and everything from Walmart to Office Depot to Old Navy, shop and save money. Get 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10% cash back. And then there's going to be our Juby Resort membership. We're inserting some travel there. Why? Because travel is a $7 trillion industry. See, the company understands we need to be positioned in front of the money. Now, so you say to yourself, okay, I like this. I like this. They're taking the 4 hottest selling items or categories on the internet, that being skincare, that being weight loss, that being energy, that being vitality. They're bringing in a travel component, $7 trillion industry. They're bringing in a component where everybody's going to shop anyway. They can shop at stores that they're used to shopping at and get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10% cash back. I like that. I like that. But is there anything else that separates Jubirev, Juby Max from a consumer standpoint? And here's your answer, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be key to how you and I generate revenue. What we're going to do as promoters is we are going to give away samples. We're going to give away samples. We're going to give away a Juby gift card, and we'll be able to load those gift cards with Juby Bucks. Now, a Juby Buck is a dollar-for-dollar discount, and these Juby cards, by the way, will be virtual. Now, in time, for those that want to build offline, the company may even send out cards if you like that, but something that you could simply email to someone or post to Facebook or what have you. Now, imagine you gave this young lady, let's say you gave Kim here a Juby gift card, and you loaded it with 100 Juby Bucks. That's like giving her $100, ladies and gentlemen. She can now come into our portal, and if she wants skincare, if she wants, well, I guess she doesn't really need weight loss, but maybe she wants to get weight loss for family members. If she wants any of those Juby branded products, she gets to use that gift card to offset the gross price of that product. So maybe she comes into our product portfolio, portal, and what she gets to the checkout counter, $200 US, but you've given her a gift card with 100 Juby Bucks. Does she pay $200? No. She gets to apply those Juby Bucks from that Juby card to that $200 purchase. She just saved right now. When? Right now. When? Right now, in that example, 50%. Oh, by the way, every Juby Buck you load on her card, or Samantha's card, or Rhonda's card, or Jeremy's card, or Paula's card, and loading this will be done automatically through your system. Every Juby Buck you load, you are going to receive what we call a Juby point. And this is how you'll determine, or the system will determine your daily earnings. What else are we going to give away as samples? By the way, does sampling work? Sure it does. You've gone to the shopping mall, and you're walking in the shopping mall, and you go by the food court. Smells good. And what do you often see? Someone standing outside of one of those restaurants giving away what? Samples. The whole idea is to take the sample. Ooh, that was good. Ooh, that was real good. I want to buy some. So the whole idea is to give her the card, give him the card, load it up with Juby Bucks for them to come into our portal and get a product or service or a bunch of products and get a tremendous savings in hopes that they'll love the product, and then they'll want to do what? Come back and consume some more. We're not going to stop there. We're not going to stop there. Jubirev, Juby Max, they tapped a professional affiliate marketing group, and that professional affiliate marketing group has an ongoing consulting arrangement with the company. Now, this is not the product here that we will be promoting, but I want to show you what this professional marketing group will do for us. The other thing that we're going to be able to do is actually give away physical samples of our products. Now, this professional marketing group, they were consistently generating over 6 figures a month marketing skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. They weren't building a team. It wasn't multi-level marketing. It wasn't network marketing. And there were certain things they did to drive traffic, and there were certain offers that got great conversions. And so they're consulting with the company so that we can have great conversions. This is how this will work. So let's say that you have a capture page that the company provides for you. Someone goes to the capture page, and on the capture page, you're actually able to give away a Juby gift card loaded up with Juby bucks. And you're actually able to give away a free sample. Maybe it's a 30-day sample of skincare. Or maybe it's a 30-day sample of weight loss. Or maybe it's a 30-day sample of the Vitality product. Now, if Mr. Man takes the Vitality product and now he feels like a man, you think he's going to come back and get some more? If Martha uses the skincare product and she starts to see over 30 days, wow, I think I'm looking younger, you think she's going to come back? And so we get to give away samples of the product. We never have to store the product in our garage. We never have to store the product in our basement. We get to give away samples of products that move on the internet, and then give them the card and Juby bucks on top of that. And every time we give away a sample, every time someone opts in and they pull out their credit card just to cover the shipping to have that sample delivered, and by the way, they're not back-ended into any type of auto ship. The whole idea is to get them to try the product and then use the Juby Max gift card for ongoing purchases. So we spend a lot of time talking about the product. Why? Why? A lot of companies, all they do is talk about the income opportunity, but please understand me, the income opportunity is only as good as the product offering. Now that we know a little bit about the product offering, a little bit about that we're going to be giving away samples, let's talk about what this means for you and me from an income standpoint. Okay, now, what's going to happen is every time you give away Juby cards and load it up with Juby bucks, by the way, we're still working on the PowerPoint, so this is certainly not as smooth as we're going to want it down the road, but this is our first one. Every time you load up a card with Juby bucks, if you loaded up a card with 100 Juby bucks, you would score 100 Juby points. This is going to be important for our daily revenue sharing. If you were to give away a 30-day sample of skincare, the system may require that you had to have in the system 100 Juby bucks to give away that skincare sample. And if that were the case, when you gave away that skincare sample, and when I say you gave it away, they simply opted into your page, and they're the ones that pulled out the credit card and paid for the shipping. The manufacturer shipped the product direct to them. You never had to store it in your basement or your garage. Guess what? Guess what? If that person took you up on that sample, in this example, you'd also score another 100 Juby points. So the whole idea is to score as many Juby points as you possibly can. Now, this is what the company is going to do when we get to the daily revenue sharing part, when we get to that point where the company is doing the daily revenue sharing. They're going to take their daily revenues. Let's say in this example, it's $500,000, okay? And they're going to share up to 50% of that. Let's say they shared 50% of that, or what winds up being $250,000 for the day. Well, then what they're going to do is they're going to divide that by the number of Juby points that are in the system. See, think about it for just a moment. You've got Tanya, who's on the webinar. She has Juby points. Vicki, she's been giving away some samples. She's been giving away some gift cards with Juby bucks. She's got Juby points. Walter's got Juby points. My friend from India, who I'm afraid to say their name because I might mess it up, they've got Juby points. Orlando from the Dominican has Juby points. The great man of the cloth, the pastor down there in Texas, has Juby points. And so what's going to happen is every night that you're qualified for your daily rewards, and what will it require for us to be qualified for daily rewards? That we place a couple of ads a day, and that we give away some samples. Think about that. Can you do that? I said nothing about you had to recruit promoters. I didn't say anything about that. And so what will happen is every night, the company's going to take its amount it's going to share divided by the number of points in the system. Let's say it's 20 million points in this example. And then it would be able to determine mathematically a formula as to every point in the system is going to earn a certain amount per point. Now, let's give an example. Let's say that you had 100 points in the system. And as a result of that day's earnings, you earned, let's say, $1.25 in your rewards. Now, we're going to be rewarded each day in Juby bucks. We're going to be rewarded in Juby bucks. Now, there's several things we're going to be able to do with those Juby bucks, and we'll cover that in just a few moments. Now, what if you had 1,000 points instead of 100 points? Well, you would have earned the same ratio of a reward per point. So in this example, you would have earned $12.50 in your reward. Did I mention anything about recruiting promoters at this point? Did I mention anything about that? No, you haven't necessarily recruited a promoter at this point. If you had 10,000 points, your daily reward in that example is the same type ratio. By the way, we'll never use investment terminology. We'll never use terminologies like investment or compounding or interest or anything like that. So this is why you're not seeing me, and you won't ever hear us from a company standpoint talk about those types of things, because those things become problematic when we deal with regulators, okay? So we're going to stay away from banking terms. We're going to stay away from investment terms. All right, so the whole idea here is you want to build up that point total. What if you get to 100,000 points? And that particular day or evening, based on that reward per point, the person with 100,000 points would have earned $12.50 in their reward. Now, there's going to be four things, I should say maybe three things you're going to be able to do with those points, or that reward, I should say. You're going to be able to convert up to 60% of those rewards into commissionable dollars. So if you earned 100 Juby bucks for that evening, and you decided, okay, well, I want to max out. I want to put some money in my pocket. Well, 60% of that would be $60. You'd be able to send that to your commission account. The remainder part would stay in bucks, and you could either use those bucks yourself, or you could give those bucks away. Now, why would you want to give those bucks away? Because every time you give away a buck, what do you earn? You earn points. The more bucks you give away, the more samples you give away, the more points you earn. Secondarily, what you could do, there'll be a choice of 4 monthly subscriptions. So you could actually convert some of your reward into what we'll call eCash to cover your monthly subscription. Now, by the way, no one is going to be asked to start off a monthly subscription today or next week or probably even the week after that. We're in pre-registration. The whole idea of pre-registration is for you to come inside, learn as much as you possibly can, for you to make a prudent choice to come and promote with us or not. All right? So, cover your monthly subscription. There's going to be a $15 a month option. There's going to be a $50 a month option. There's going to be a $100 a month option. There's going to be a $200 a month option. Now, what we will teach our Jubirev, Juby Max family is most folks, if you'll follow the things that we're going to share from a training standpoint, most of you will have enough revenues to cover your monthly subscription somewhere between about 30 and maybe 90 to 120 days is what we've normally seen in the revenue sharing world, even if you were not a recruiter of other promoters. You'll also be able to use your own bucks. So let's say that you were rewarded that day 100 Juby bucks, and hey, you want the weight loss product. You want the skincare because you want to be a product of the product. For every buck that you use for you and your household, you're going to get a 50% match in points. Now think about this. You just got paid, essentially. You just got paid to be a product of the product. So if you went into the system and you made a $200 purchase with your bucks, you just earned an additional 100 points in your point pool. And then lastly, you can give your bucks away. Give those bucks away as more samples to load on other people's gift cards that you've given them, because every buck you give away to a customer, you get a 100% match in points. So if you gave away 200 bucks, they haven't necessarily used them, by the way. You just loaded up their card with 200 bucks. Guess what you just earned? 200 points. You just earned 200 points. Now, real quickly, the beautiful part about our system is that these points allow us to earn daily, as long as we take care of our daily requirements, which will only take for most of us just a few minutes a day. However, these points generate for us not monthly, not weekly, but daily residual income. Why? Well, your points are going to earn up to 105 days. Your points are going to earn up to 105 days. So what that means is if you have 10,000 points today and you earned in your bucks reward 125 bucks, and you gave those 125 bucks away today, then that means that on tonight's earnings, now of course I know that we're not going to have tonight's earnings because there's no revenue just yet, but on tonight's earnings, in this example, you would be earning on 10,125 points as opposed to 10,000 points. The more points you have, the more revenue that could potentially mean for you. We have seen people in this revenue sharing type model without a consumable-based product, without getting a product in the hands, a possession being 9/10 of the law to the consumer. We have seen promoters build point totals that went into the hundreds of thousands, even went into the millions. So I want you to think about how powerful that could be. Now, let's finish up with this real quickly. I won't be able to hit on all 10 ways. That's just one. That's just one way. And what we've seen with this revenue sharing model is that it attracts promoters, because we've seen folks that have been in this industry for years and years and years that struggle to make enough money to meet an auto ship or a monthly subscription or anything like that. And then they got into this model, and maybe a few months after being in the model, they were generating a car payment, or maybe even a house note, or maybe even having a complete lifestyle change. What happens, however, should you tell the story? One of our members of our following, gentleman's been with us for years and years and years. When he first saw this type model, he said, "Tielemans, I'm not going to recruit anybody. I'm not good at recruiting. You know, I'm burned out of MLM." And I said, "Listen, man, this is a powerful model. Come in, at least do enough so that you get your daily revenue." Well, after a few months, he didn't tell anybody for a few months. After 6 months, because his revenue was growing at such a rapid pace, and he was making money even though he had not referred anyone, guess what? He couldn't keep it to himself. And he told a few folks. You know how that happens. Hey, when you make money, Charlene, when you make money, Michael, Minnie, when you make money, then come back and see me. Have your friends told you that? Facebook family told you that? Twitter family told you that? Well, finally, he was making money for the first time in this industry. And he told a couple of folks, just a couple of folks, and they came and joined him. Let me show you real quickly what happens for you. What happens for you should you opt to refer other promoters. You're going to get paid up to a 10%, referral commission, not just when your promoter purchases inventory. See, we're going to all purchase inventory for those of us that see this during the pre-registration. When the pre-launch comes, and we can purchase inventory, meaning we can purchase inventory of these bucks to give away, of the samples to give away, so on and so forth. Let's say that you had someone that purchased $2,500 worth of inventory. They could purchase a lot less than that, or what have you. Now, here's the thing. I want you to purchase as much inventory when it gets to that stage as your resources allow, but just raise your right hand and agree not to hurt yourself. No getting into debt. No borrowing money. It should all come from discretionary funds. So let's say you referred a promoter. They made a $2,500 purchase. Well, you get a 10% override immediately once that purchase is credited to them, or $250. Now, you could take that $250, put it all in your pocket. You could take that $250, help cover your monthly subscription. You could take that $250 and you could get more inventory to give away to generate more points. Now, let's say that the person that you referred has now gotten up to the point where they have 10,000 points. It's growing, it's growing, it's growing. And they have a night, for instance, where they generate, let's call it $125 in their reward. And they decide to take those $125 and buy, they decide with that $125 reward that they want to give that away. They're not looking to cash out as commissions just yet. Guess what? You would get commissioned on that entire 125, another 10%. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that if they did that tonight, I could have made $12.50? Yes. And what about tomorrow? Well, you know, the numbers are going to be different. It could be higher or lower, but yeah, up to 10%. What about the next day? And the next day, next week? What about 6 months from now? Wait. Are you telling me this is not monthly residual income? This is not weekly residual income. This is daily residual income. When you watch our videos, you'll see the video announcer saying, every day can be payday, ladies and gentlemen. This model is amazing. Let me tell you, I got to finish this thing up. Let me tell you this. This is the powerful part. The system is going to pay 3 generations, meaning that while you could earn up to 10%, your enroller could earn up to 5%, their enroller could earn up to 1%, and we saw the biggest company in the revenue sharing space, they paid a 10% referral and a 5% referral, and they stopped there. And people made so much money. This company said, well, we're going to pay out another 3rd generation, but we're not going to stop there. We're going to put a 0.5% through as many as 8 levels. So now, not only are you paid generationally, there's going to be a unilevel structure. Now let's finish with this, because this is where it gets really sweet. See, there's going to be a unilevel structure, and in this industry, a unilevel structure has always been a favorite of folks that were big promoters, people that can recruit a lot of promoters. They tend to love them. Why? Because when you go wide in this industry, that equals profitability. Going wide means you personally sponsored folks. You personally enrolled folks. But when you help build your organization and you have depth in this industry, that gives you security. What if a model could come along that takes the revenue sharing model, which is the hottest compensation model, period, and has changed this industry forever, but can also have a unilevel structure so that the big promoters can go out and big promote and get tremendous profitability, at the same time foster a culture of team growth. So this is how this could happen. What can happen here? Let's say that you referred, and I'm just about finished, John, and you referred Mary, and you referred Susan. You referred John, Mary, and Susan. You refer John, Mary, and Susan. Now, typically, they would simply be on your first level in a unilevel. But we are going to have something, ladies and gentlemen, that we call the Juby Suite. And what this is basically a holding tank. See, now you've got John, and you've got Mary, and you've got Susan tied directly to you. You're going to get that up to 10% bonus every single night that they have bucks going to their buck category from their rewards. That will never stop. You'll always get that. You're paid that generationally. But now you could run a contest. You could say, John, Mary, Susan, I'm going to run a contest. And whichever one of you does the most production in the next 2 weeks, or whichever one of you refers the most promoters, you get creative. You're the leader. You get creative. Whoever wins that promotion, I'm going to put a leg in your organization. Huh? Really? So now John and Mary and Susan, they're going after that promotion because they would like to get another leg. See, it gives you the excitement of a matrix system that offers spill without all the negatives of a matrix system. So let's say that John happens to win that promotion, and you decide to put Mary in John's unilevel. But here's the beautiful part. You don't lose one thing. You still override John 10%. You still override Susan 10%. You still override Mary 10%. What did this do for John? John picks up 0.5%. So now Mary, as she builds her team, Mary, as she gets her daily rewards, as she has a portion of those daily rewards going into more bucks, John now picks up an override that he wouldn't have picked up before. Ladies and gentlemen, because this is a presentation, I've got to keep it really conservative. When you come inside next week, we'll have some videos in your back office that will really highlight how big that can be. That'll be for training purposes only. That piece there, I can tell you right now, for instance, one of our leaders, and as I start to close, one of our leaders today, in the first 3 hours that the sites were up, has already personally enrolled 83 promoters. So he can go to those promoters and say, I'm running a contest. Whoever does ABC is going to get 2 legs in the organization, or 3 legs in the organization, or 1 leg in that organization. What is that going to generate? More buzz, more excitement, more activity in time when products are flying off the shelf, more revenue for the company, and more revenue for the company means what for you and me in our daily revenue? It means more revenue. And even if you aren't the promoter, even if you're not the one that's building a large referral network, you override me, ladies and gentlemen. I've built 4 with my team. We've built 4 7-figure businesses, 2 in the last 2 years alone because of this revenue sharing model. John, Mary, Susan, John, Joe, average, not good at recruiting or sponsoring or selling. In this model, you're going to override me. You're going to override Tyron, who's referred 83 folks in the first 2-3 hours. You're going to override Troy. You're going to override Marlene. You're going to override all these, Aaron. You're going to override all these tremendous leaders. Why? Because with that daily revenue, we all override the entire production of the company. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you need to do. If you are visiting and you have not yet registered to get your pre-registration site, you need to get back to the person that referred you. Yell at them, scream at them, get me your link, and get their link. Get their link so that you can go on and get pre-registered. We're not asking you for a dime today. We're not asking you for a penny today. We're not going to ask you for a dime tomorrow or even next week, probably not even the week after that. This is a chance for you to come inside our portal, come inside our model, start to learn. They'll start compensation videos will start to be loaded up on next week. You can start seeing some of the functionalities in your back office. This company is very serious about earning, not taking the field force for granted, but earning the trust and the respect and the confidence of the field. Earlier today, there was a load on the server, and some of the pages were running a little bit slow. Those programmers got on, and they would not stop until they got that issue fixed. And right before we came on the webinar, it was running very, very smoothly. So get back to the person that referred you and get their link. Then, as you come inside, there's going to be a series of quick start steps. There's already a video there that walks you through the quick start, and then you want to start tying into our training webinars, the training that's going to be in the back office, so on and so forth. Now, this is what we want to do right now. What we want to do right now is go into an optional period. This is going to last for about 15 minutes, okay? So if you've got to go, we've actually concluded the webinar. I will tell you that we will be right back here at 4 p.m. Eastern today. So 4 p.m. Eastern. And we will also be right back here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on this same link. And again, that link is www.jubirevwebinar.com, jubirevwebinar.com at 4 p.m. Eastern and at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll basically do the same thing that we've just done, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we don't have the presentation completely done just yet while we had to go to the whiteboard, but we've done enough of these presentations that it'll be pretty similar to what you've seen here today. You can come back and see it again, get your folks here as well. I want to just take you back real quickly. Give me just a moment into the back office for some of you that have not seen this yet, or maybe you got, give me a moment, I'm sorry, you got really excited about someone sending you a link and you started getting your link out, but you haven't really gone into your back office. I want to just show you a couple of functionalities. Give me a moment here, I'm sorry. Now, we'll be coming from a test account when we show you this. And bear with us. Bear with us. You should, yeah, you can't see my screen just yet. Give me a moment. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember my test login. I'm sorry. Is this right? Uh-oh. I am not remembering my test login. They changed it on me last night. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. Let's do this. Since I can't show you what I wanted to show you because I can't remember my test login, then what I will do for the next 14 minutes, if you have questions, if you would put those in the questions box, we will entertain as many questions as we possibly can. In this 15 minutes, I do have to go at the top of the hour as I've got a conference. I'm serving primarily as a field liaison and obviously helping to build the business because we want to see a revenue sharing model that's going to be here for the long haul. All right, someone was asking about, they were saying 99.99% of network marketing participants cannot sponsor. How do you overcome this issue? So hopefully what you've seen, Keith, by now is how this model does not require you to have to be a recruiter or sponsor or sponsorer of other promoters to be able to generate revenues. Give me a moment. Got you there. Again, if you have questions, go on and put those in. Bear with me. Someone is saying, how can I get a sample of that energy drink? Maybe they've been following us. The story about that, ladies and gentlemen, again, is that we've gotten, in the past 3 nights, we've not gotten any sleep the past 3 nights. We've been working with programming and support. So we would take a quick nap during the day. I think on, what's today? What is today? Thursday? So on Tuesday, I think we got about 3 hours during the day. Yesterday, I think it was about 2.5, and today it's been an hour and a half. So someone is asking, how can I get that energy drink? We are a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks away from what I'm being told from the manufacturer being ready to send out product. So just as soon as the manufacturer is ready to send out product, and that's one of the reasons why we've got this pre-registration stage. We're not asking for anyone to put out any money because we're not ready yet. All right, we don't want you. The company is very serious about earning your respect and earning your confidence and earning your trust. So they don't want to ask you for any money to make a purchase of anything until things are ready. Merchant accounts are in place, products ready to be delivered, so on and so forth. So a lot of what we're going to be waiting for is going to be waiting for the manufacturer. As soon as the manufacturer says we're ready to ship. Now, what I got the other day was I got a shipment of products for samples for myself, and I got a cardio product, which is a great product. The energy product is actually a 3-in-1 product. It's an appetite suppressant, a metabolism booster, and energy all in one. And I know it works because I have worked on 5.5, a total of 7 hours of sleep in the last 72 hours. And do I sound like I'm about to doze off? I think not. All right. Okay, give me a moment. Someone is asking for the PowerPoint presentation. Once the PowerPoint is not complete. All right, so the PowerPoint presentation will not be sent out until it's complete. As you notice, for instance, when I got to the income side of things, I had to transition from the PowerPoint and go to the whiteboard. So just as soon as the PowerPoint presentation is complete, and if you've gotten into the system by now, you should know that the company is also committed in having good quality professional presentation material. There's obviously on your landing page when you're sending out your promoter link, there's a 2-minute video there. As you come inside, there is a phenomenal 5-minute video. One thing I want you to do for those of you that have access to your back office, watch that first video. Watch that first video that walks you through the back office. It's a back office orientation. It's going to show you where you can go, and there's a YouTube place where you can subscribe to the company's YouTube channel, Facebook, so on and so forth. Any videos that's on that YouTube channel, you can leverage, okay? And the company's also put those same videos that you can leverage in training. And again, that video will show you where to go and find that. So those of you who are bloggers, what the company wants to do is they want to give you great marketing material, but they want to make sure that the message is compliant. So you'll be able to use those videos that the company releases for promotional purposes so that the message is compliant. You can get the message out. So the person was asking for a PowerPoint. One of the things that the company will do, now it may not happen right away. I'm sure they want to refine their message, but ultimately there's even going to be more of a 20, 30-minute, very professionally done presentation where essentially a person could just, click play on the internet and see a very thorough, comprehensive, professional presentation about the income model and the products and all of those good things, okay? All right, someone asked, will there be a separate outlay for each program, like the shopping rebates or what have you? No, you're going to have access to everything. All right, you're going to have access to being able to come in as a promoter, but also a customer, being able to use the rebate mall, being able to use the travel engine, being able to obviously get products yourself for those of, and we really want to build a culture of people, of promoters being products of the product. That's one thing that's been lost in the revenue sharing industry. If you just looked at the traditional MLM industry, that was always taught product of the product, product of the product, product of the product. And when we saw the revenue sharing, there was like revenue sharing companies that had maybe like a penny auction, and very few people, very few of the affiliates of those companies even went in to bid. Well, so I'm loving some of these questions I'm seeing of people asking about the energy, or when can I get the skincare, when can I get the weight loss, what have you. We certainly want to be products of the product. We're going to take 7 more minutes, get to as many questions as we can. All right, someone is asking, do you get your own customers, or is there a company pool? The company, there was some legislation, I believe about March-ish of 2012. Prior to that point, companies were actually able to provide customers for their field force. But when that law took effect in March of 2012, all companies, all across the MLM spectrum, could no longer provide customers for their field force. Now, I will tell you that the company will not be able to endorse any third-party services, but I'm sure that there will be a number of leaders that will have third-party services, sources that they'll be able to point you to. Now, when I'm on a webinar for the company, I've got to toe the company line. When we do webinars for our following, and we still have to make sure that we're doing things compliantly. I know that we would always share a source or two for people to consider as a third-party sources for customers. So if you follow your leadership, you're probably not going to have an issue with having the customers to be able to give you samples to. So I wouldn't be concerned about that at all. Just when I'm serving in this capacity, doing a corporate webinar, I can't necessarily tout any particular service out there, okay? All right. Someone is saying, I have no sponsor. How do I become a part of the business? My question then for you is going to be, well, how did you get here? Somebody told you about this webinar. Someone sent you a link. Retrace those steps. However you got here, connect with that person and say, hey, send me your link. Even if you don't know that person, that's just the integrous thing and the character thing to do, because I promise you from a corporate standpoint that it doesn't matter who your enroller happens to be. The company is serious about making sure that it has tools and resources to help everyone win. If they're wanting to build a referral network, helping you to build your referral networks. So for someone who's saying, hey, I don't have a sponsor, how did you get here? Retrace those steps and dance with the person that brought you to the dance. Okay? Let's see here. All right. Robert, I see you, buddy. We'll get that taken care of. Robert C., we'll take it. Okay. Oh, great question. We've got 4 minutes here. Dave asks, how long can someone stay in the Juby Suite? The Juby Suite is that holding tank. Anyone that you personally enroll. Now, we're going to use terminology. An enroller, or the enroller, is the person that got the person to register at their site. So if I registered at your site, Dave, you are my enroller, and that relationship never changes, okay? Now, then you could opt to place me somewhere in your structure that benefits both you and your team to help sponsor team growth. You don't lose anything from the enroller, but then I would have what's then called a placement sponsor, okay? Now, the question that Dave asks, great question. He says, how long could I have T. Lamont sitting in my suite before I need to place him? You've got 60 days. You've got 60 days to have any person that's sitting in your suite. Now, right now, when you go into your back office, you're not going to see, the only thing you're going to see right now are your personally referred. You're not going to be able to drill down just yet and see, their personally sponsored and their personally sponsored. Now, you will be able to see your personally sponsored, or personally enrolled, I should say. You'll be able to see their contact information, email address, phone number. You'll also be able to send private messages internal in the system, okay? Even when the Juby Suite is live, you'll be able to see the names of second generation, third generation, fourth generation, but you won't be able to see their email address and phone numbers, and that's to maintain the integrity of the system. Okay. Everyone that you personally enroll will be in your Juby Suite, and in effect, they're on your first level. If you do not place them in your organization at the end of 60 days, they just permanently stay on your first level. I'm going to tell you that I would never just have someone staying on my first level. Why? Because I didn't lose anything by placing them in Susan's organization or Pauline's organization or Charlotte's organization. I didn't even talk about the Juby style bonus, where you're going to be able to get your choice of a Porsche or a BMW or a Mercedes. By placing folks in the organization, you also help people get the volume requirements needed to get the Porsche or the Mercedes or the Beamer, so on and so forth. Great question, Dave. You've got up to 60 days. In many cases, you won't use all 60 days. You might have a 1-week contest. You might have a 2-week contest. You might have a 3-week contest and begin placing folks at that time, okay? All right. Are we global? Yes, we are global. And I want to say that even when we start shipping product, I want to say, don't hold me to it. I'm almost sure I saw it, but I have only gotten 7.5 hours of sleep the last 72 hours, okay? I want to say that the manufacturer will be shipping out to as many as 60 different countries from the start. So yes, we are global, and I can tell you within the first hour that pre-registration happened today, there were people coming from Israel and Lithuania. I don't even know where Lithuania is. I'm horrible at geography. Australia, all over the place. So yes, we are global, okay? All right, all right. Hey, Dennis, I believe you know how to get in touch with me. If you would do that. Robert C., same thing. Someone asked, will there be spillover or spill under? Denise, this is not a matrix, so it's not a forced spill situation. There are some concerns about a matrix. Matrices they create a lot of excitement. They get people wanting to take action sooner rather than later. The challenge, and this will be my last one, I've got to get on a conference call with management in a few moments. The challenge with the matrix, one, we've never seen a matrix. I haven't. Maybe there are some that I'm not aware of. A matrix as a compensation model with a company that lasted more than 5 years. Doesn't mean the company went away, but oftentimes the company had to go back and back up and punt and come out with another compensation model. That's one issue. In the U.S., there are certain states that abhor matrices. But more importantly, outside of that, matrices tend to create the wrong type culture, the wrong behavior. What tends to happen with a matrix is, let's say, Denise, you bring on a few folks, and they're sitting back and they're waiting for Denise to provide spill. And they're sitting back and their feet are up on the ottoman. Denise, you go to work, and I hope I'm going to get some spill. All right, and then they get upset if they don't get spill or if they don't get enough spill. It generates the wrong type of behavior, oftentimes an entitlement type of behavior. The suite gives you the advantages of a unilevel, and promoters love unilevels because it allows them to go wide and have more profitability. But the suite then gives us the flexibility of leveraging and placing folks in other people's organization. But what we're not going to do, is just place someone to place someone. I'll give you a very good example. Okay. Here's a contest that you might want to consider running. One of our leaders was telling me about a contest that they're running. Here's their contest. This person, they expect to personally enroll during pre-registration well over 100 folks. Okay. And they sent out an email to their folks and said, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build through a certain amount of legs. Let's call it 3 legs in this example. I'm going to build through three legs. I'm going to build through 3 legs as an example. Okay. Now, wait a minute. If they personally enroll 100 folks, but they're only building 3 legs, what happened to the other 97? They wind up going into the organizations of those 3. So how are they going to determine those 3? They're going to have a contest. They may have multiple contests to determine those 3. So when they told me that, then they told me that people on the team were already hitting them back saying, I want to be one of those legs. I want to be one of those legs. And it's producing much more activity than what you would normally see in a matrix. Another situation, and we'll round third here, another situation that I'm aware of is there is someone who is courting a huge leader in the industry, all right? And they started telling them about the Juby Suite. And what they did as an incentive, they said, hey, listen, I already have, and I mean, we're only talking about a few hours in, I already have, I think the number was maybe 30 or 40 pre-enrollees. You come aboard with me, all right, I'll make sure you have 3 or 4 of my top legs in your, so look at what that Juby Suite, the leverage that gives you in building your organization. All right, now there are a few of you. Robert C. Let me just look through here real quickly. I've got to jump off here. Robert C. You know how to get in touch with me out of Buffalo. If you would do that, my friend. Minnie. Someone said, husband and wife. Can husband sponsor, enroll wife? Can wife enroll husband? The answer to that is no. No stacking. No stacking. No stacking. Okay? And some of you that are asking, Julio, I see your question. Julio, I need you to do me a favor, buddy, and just be a little patient with me. We've got several webinars tonight, and got a meeting with staff here in just a few moments, and got an hour and a half worth of sleep. So what we may have to do is schedule something, but not today, okay? But we'll get that done as soon as we possibly can. All right. All right. You are funny, Troy. You're funny. You're funny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to be back here at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be back here at 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, what's going to happen here, because of the webinar system that we're using, if I exit the webinar, then nobody's going to be able to get back. I wanted to use one link and not have to have used 3 links today. So we're going to leave the webinar up, and we're going to leave a post that the webinar is officially ended, and we will be back at 4 p.m. So if you stay on, you're just going to see that whiteboard. All right, so you can click out. We'll leave the webinar up so that you can come back and your folks can come back at 4 p.m. We love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. And remember, Jubirev, Jubimax is not just a company. No, it's not. It's a movement. We'll see you at 4 p.m. Eastern.